Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Cash, and today's video will be one of y'all favorites. It will be a group home story time. So I'm gonna be honest, y'all have every right to curse me out because I never even realized that I never gave y'all part 2 to the group home brawl. I'm gonna be honest, Miss Mama's I just wasn't consistent and I was sad. I was just going through stuff. College was on me. So now I'm giving y'all part 2. So yeah, if y'all still here, hopefully y'all actually watch it. So if you see me looking down at my phone, it's because I had to remember what I named them in that story time. So now, actually, let me put the other girl name because I forgot about her too. Crash. Okay. So boom. I think when we closed off, it was after they had wet me with the water bottle. So that night, I'm not sure why we didn't end up fighting that night because they weren't coming out. And I think at some point the shifts ended up changing. So the staff that was on shift, she ended up telling us like, bro, go in y'all room. Like, go ahead, y'all not fighting tonight. Obviously, leave it alone. So, you know, certain staff, she wasn't playing. She was like, y'all gonna go home. Like, she was like, y'all, everybody finna go in their room. And I feel like out of respect for her, we just followed her rules and went in the room. So the next day, I had went to work super early that morning because I believe it was a Saturday. So, how can I say this? So, I didn't give her a name yet. So, Furry's friend, what are we gonna call her? We're gonna call Furry's friend Tyler. Let me put that in here so I remember that. So I don't forget it. Because I don't think this should be 3 parts. It's probably going to end up just being 2. So, Tyler and Furry, they were friends and they were cool. So, me and Tyler had got into a fight previously. I'm going to give y'all a story time about that one too. That one will be under, I'm not sure what I'm going to title that. I'm going to film it later on today. So, y'all will get that one soon. But me and Tyler had ended up fighting like maybe a month or 2 before we moved to the new house because of just different things. So once me and Tyler had fought, Tyler didn't win that fight. But also you have to understand, I'm a very like tall person and I'm a fighter. Like I kind of grew up on fighting. Tyler is just like, you know how some people, and I'm not trying to give Tyler a pass, but me and her, we did end up apologizing to each other. And as time progressed, I started to understand that Tyler was one of those people who would just talk, like, and she wouldn't think that it was going to lead to a fight, but she would just talk herself into certain situations. But after me and her had fought, she did make a change and she did apologize to me, and I started to see that she was changing. But here was my thing that I didn't like about Rampage. So Rampage knew that Tyler had lost that fight because she was there. So what Rampage used to do is she wouldn't say nothing to none of the other girls. She never pressed me, and mind you, I was walking past her, bumping her, mushing her, all types of shit. She wouldn't, let me watch my mouth for the video get taken out, sorry. She wouldn't press no other girl that had been in the house before because even when I told y'all, Rampage used to steal from everybody, and then when you would confront Rampage about it, I didn't do it, I didn't steal it, and she used to run in the staff office and be playing victim. So, I guess, I'm gonna be honest. So, this is what happened. So, I was getting off work, and at this point, it was probably like 2 or 3 o'clock. No, yeah, it was probably like 2 or 3 o'clock. But this day, they were taking a little bit longer than usual. And it was like, I was calling the staff, and nobody was answering. So, I ended up calling the house phone to see if the staff would answer. And I called the staff, and she was like, look, like, we on our way to come, like, I'm gonna have somebody on their way to come get you. We had an emergency, just bear with me for like 10, 20 more minutes. So, I'm like, okay, because they would say something was an emergency, but an emergency could be anything. It could be that, you know, one of the staff had to stay a little bit later, the gas card isn't working. Anything could be an emergency. One of the girls needs a pickup. Who knows? An emergency could be anything. So why, when they come pick me up from work finally, everybody in the car is just like so excited. Like, as soon as I open the door, they're like, bitch, guess what? I'm like, what? Like, they're geeks. So I'm thinking, I'm like, oh my god, like, are we getting a new van for the house? Like, bitch, what happened? Do we get TVs in our room? Did I get my own room? Like, why is everybody so geek? One of the girls pulled her phone out, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to find this video, but if I could, or if we was in this group home together and you have the video, please send it to me, because I would pay any amount of money to see this video again. Because the thing with group home site is they were rarely recorded other than like on like the staff cameras, and they wasn't giving it to us. Why is Tyler standing over Rampage outside of the van just boop, 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 boop? And this was crazy to all of us because like I told y'all, I was bigger than Tyler. So Tyler was probably like 5'6", but she was like a little slim, petite, cute girl. Rampage was like 5'7", and Rampage was built like a brick house. And this ain't no shade to the big girls because y'all know I'm big too. But Rampage was like a solid 270. Like, that's not even being funny. Off the top of my head, if I looked at Rampage, you would think like Rampage is 270. Like, she's real big, real solid. That's why she used to try to like bully the smaller girls. So apparently what had happened was that what Rampage used to do is like her way of bullying people is like she used to always run to the front seat and always just try to like bogart the front seat or whatever the case may be. So I'm not sure this day. I think this is around the time when they probably told us like we're gonna have a system where it's like they choose who sit in the front seat because they peeped that the girls was using the front seat as the way to bully people. This just goes to show y'all how childish and mature things were back then. So I'm not sure if it was like Tyla's week or day to sit in the front seat, or if Tyla had already came out and put her stuff in the van in the front seat. I'm not sure, but I think what happened was that Tyla had put her stuff in the front seat and Rampage had came out and basically took her stuff out of the front seat and just threw it on the ground type shit. Like real disrespectful. Real disrespectful. And mind you, like when Rampage would do things like this, everybody would be confused because you're not like that. Like you do things like this and then you go to staff and you run and apologize, but I guess she wasn't able to make it to staff quick enough, or Tyla was just fed up with her bothering her, because they literally used to get into arguments and all you would hear is, you couldn't even fight Cash, what you gonna do with me? If Cash beat you up, what you think I'm gonna do? If Cash beat you up, and it's like, bro, stand on your own too, be a woman. Like if you want to fight her, go see what you can do. Don't keep on trying to throw up the fact that me and her got into a fight and she lost, because honestly the way I was feeling that day, anybody would have lost that fight. Y'all will see in the next story time. So I'm just like, yo, girl, like, you're a weirdo or whatever. But I guess Tyla was just fed up that day and she whooped Rampage's ass. Like, you had it on camera. Like, they physically had to get Tyla up off of Rampage because Rampage was just on the floor, fetal position. So it's like, damn, this is really giving David and Goliath. I'm sorry. Not to be messy, I'm sorry. Okay, boom. So I believe that day after that happened, you know, Rampage and Crash kind of stayed in the room for the rest of the day. And the other girls, they ended up going on their home pass. It was nothing too much that happened that day. So the next day, we had all woke up super early and we had went to the beach, I think. I don't know if we had went to the beach or we had went to the mall. It was either of those outings. But it was either the beach or the mall. When we got back home and we walked in the house, all of a sudden, Rampage is still in the room, but Crash is kind of like, you could always tell when Crash was about to start something because Crash's room was like, how can I explain this? So boom, when you would walk into our house, it was a pretty big house because y'all know Waxahachie is very big, very spacious. So when you would walk into our house, you would walk past like the room, like the master bedroom is towards the front of the house. So you would walk past that and you would kind of like walk past the living room, and it's like in between the kitchen island. If you went down the hallway, it was like this little opening in the hallway, and it was Crash and Rampage's room, a bathroom in the middle, and then it was Tyla and Furry's room. So Tyla and Furry is like, you know, they're like trying to walk towards their room, and you kind of see like Crash standing right there. So Crash is standing right there, and you could like tell that Crash is about to start something, or I don't know, like you could just tell that she was like looking for an issue. So as soon as they walk past, Crash is just kind of like, oh, like, what's up? What y'all want to do? What's up? What y'all want to do? So Birth, I look absolutely insane. Please ignore it. So I was able to go back and find the messages from the day they got into an argument because I had asked Tyla why they got into it. Basically, Crash was mad because she wanted to go to the beach or something like that, and Tyla didn't want to ride. So she was saying, well, next time you want to go somewhere, I'm not going to ride or whatever. When she cussed Tyla out, and that's where all this stemmed from. I'm going to try to like include the screenshot of the message so y'all can just read it yourselves. Bye, y'all. Furry and Tyla's just like, girl, you must be mad because your homegirl got beat up. Like, if you really that upset, you should have jumped in and helped her. You sat right there, you didn't do nothing that day, so why are you coming over here now? Because I think what had happened was, I feel like Rampage was kind of probably telling her like, oh, like, you know, you need to be a friend to me, like you probably should have helped me or something like that. But it's like, that's not no situation where she needs to help you. You fought a girl that was your height, that you got like 150 pounds on, and you lost. Stop bullying people and you won't be getting tossed like a salad, period, plain blank. Or learn how to stand up on your feet, because you too big to be falling like that. Like, no stability whatsoever. That's why I was so ready for us to get into it, because I'm like, girl, I know I'm gonna work you because you can't stand up on your feet. I'm already clumsy and you be falling before me. So it was just like, whatever. So basically they were trying to like, I guess they were like gonna walk towards their room or whatever the case may be. But like, Crash is just like, oh, won't nobody take no showers in here or nothing. So Rampage is kind of like blocking the bathroom and stuff like that. And she's just picking with them or whatever. So at this point, I don't even think that Furry and Tyla were gonna jump her. I just think that they were gonna probably like move right away. So soon as they like act like they about to like push her out the way or whatever, I think she like pushed Furry and then she ran in the room and locked the door. So at this point, Furry's not feeling that because you just pushed me and then walked in the room. Like, you don't do that. And that was the problem that everybody was having, because the staff was saying like, oh, you can't go in that room, you can't go in that room, you can't go here, you can't go there. But they were constantly doing this. So at this point, Furry and Tyler's over there trying to get in her room again, and I don't think she was able to get the dresser in front of the door because Furry had to push her way in and started swinging on her. So once Furry pushed her way in and started swinging on her, she had kind of ran in the staff office and she locked the door. So like the staff is just kind of like, hey, y'all doing too much, y'all can't be in here, it's confidential information. But Crash is not coming out of this room. So it was to the point where I guess like Furry was just pissed off. So Furry just outside the door and she's like, bro, come out the room, like I'm not moving or whatever. And she starts like yanking on the staff door handle. So it's like the staff's office, if you ever been in a group home, if you're in a regular house, what they do is they usually turn the master bedroom into like the staff office. That's where they keep all the food, all the medicine, everything locked up. That's the staff office. So their office was the master bedroom and they had like these big double doors. So Furry kind of just grabbed them and was like doing like this, trying to get it open. And I understand that because if you just hit me and ran, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be trying to get in that office too. I'd be trying to get in the Taj Mahal if you hit me and ran, truth be told. So the staff ends up calling the police. Now mind you, at the last group home, they kind of knew it was a group home. They had a rapport with the police, like officers that used to come out, like, you know, because you have to explain certain situations to them. So they kind of had an understanding. The police knew what it was. These are group home girls. You handle it a certain type of way. So I don't know when the staff called the police, but she must have called them quick. Mind you, Loxahatchee is a very decent, quiet part of town. Like, it's the country. People really go out there to fish, hunt, and like farm animals. They don't really come out there on no, like, you don't usually have these type of disputes and these type of calls. So y'all know me, this is what I get for trying to be a bystander. So I'm sitting in the living room and I'm watching Furry like yank on the door handle because I'm trying to see if she about to get in there. All you hear is, everybody get the fuck down. Why the hell is the I think this is PBSO. PBSO walked in and I feel like they knew it was a group home because they didn't come in with like, you know, actual pew-pews, but they came in with like the beanbag pew-pews, or is it, what is that called, like when they use the rubber pew? When they use the rubber, can I say that on here? The rubber inserts into the machine, if you know, you know. The pew-pew. So they came in there and they had, I don't know if it was like rubber or beanbag, I honestly don't know, but they're pointing it at us and it's like five, no, it's not five of them, that's dragging, it's like three of them. All of them are pointing at us and they're like, everybody get on your knees. Like, everybody get on your knees and put your hands behind your head. Mind you, I'm sitting on the couch and it's like another girl, we sitting on the couch. It's only like really Furry yanking on the door and Tyler sitting right there trying to see like if she's gonna be able to get in. They made all of us get down on our knees and like lay on that cold ass towel. And like, they did not make what, but my thing is with the staff, I'm thinking that the staff is gonna make like Crash come out the office and like tell them what happened and make them lay on the ground too. They didn't do that. They only did it to us. So this is what made me mad with the staff. It's just like, I understand. Well, no, I can't understand y'all calling the police for that. Because the thing is, Tyler, Crash and Rampage is around here putting their hands on people. They around here stealing from people. They doing all types of stuff. And y'all don't ever call the police for that. But now that somebody really trying to get on their ass, y'all calling the police. That's not fair. So like the whole time the police got us on the ground, like I'm crying and stuff. Because I don't know, that was just like a real traumatic experience. Like, I don't know. It reminded me of like being in the house while I got raided. Like, that shit ain't no good feeling. Like, it just brought back bad memories. So I told the staff like straight up, like, I have lost all respect for you, bitch. I would never deal with you again. Like, y'all, I feel like they would let situations like that fluster and they would let them get away with things. And then as soon as somebody gets frustrated, now they're calling the police and they're using the law against you. Like, I don't know. Something about that situation, it just really triggered me. And I never really like respected none of the staff no more for how they handled that issue. So the police were just in there. They were doing a lot. I was crying. The other girls, they were laying on the floor. They were crying. Like, everybody was just like, this is too much. Now, mind you, while we all laying on the floor crying, the person who started all of this, Crash, is just like in the background laughing, kikiing, like, you know, she didn't do nothing wrong and nothing's wrong. So eventually the house manager, I guess they told her to come, so she comes and she kind of tells them like, this is not how y'all handle situations with them, like that, y'all didn't have to do all of that, woo, woo, woo. And basically she has to speak to their supervisor, and I guess they got it worked out that from that point forward, the police officers that would be coming to the house were people that were familiar with foster children and knew how to interact with them and wouldn't pull out weapons on them. Because he came around later on and he was trying to comfort us and he was trying to let us know that they weren't real. Like, it wasn't a real pew-pew, but it's like the fact that you would come in here and whip out weapons on a bunch of foster kids that have already been through traumatic issues. It was just like, especially because none of us had weapons. So it's like, even with the beanbag, yeah, you can't unalive us, but you could have seriously injured us and it wasn't that serious. We're a bunch of teenage girls. Sorry, y'all. The lease office ended up calling me. My bad. Photos on Do Not Disturb. There should be no more distractions. And I had to turn the AC back on. I'm so sorry if y'all hear it in the background. Baby, the chocolate is over here melting. I had to turn it back on. I'm sorry. Hopefully, y'all can't hear it too much in the background. I'm going to try to project my voice. So after that situation, they ended up sending, like, I think it was the police officers, they said their supervisors, and basically like, they were talking to us and they were telling us like, okay, we understand that y'all are in the group home, we understand that y'all gonna have situations and stuff like that. And he told us straight up, like, this is Loxahatchee, this ain't the city. If y'all want to fight, go outside in the field and get, like, go outside in the field and get busy. Because you know in Loxahatchee, you have super big backyards because you're literally just in the field. So he was telling us that, but he was like, y'all can't keep on fighting in the house like that because y'all scared the staff and y'all are tearing up the house and y'all causing damage to property. And if you start damaging the house, you know, then we have to come back because the people can want to press charges because this house belongs to the group home. It don't really belong to us. So you can get in trouble for destroying the house. And I was like, okay, we feel that or whatever. So mind you, now Crash and Rampage, they were sitting out there grinning and smiling. They thought it was cute that the police had laid everybody down like that and they didn't have to get on the floor. But as soon as that man said, oh, y'all can get it in the field, everybody except for Crash and Rampage eyes lit up, especially me. I'm ready to go in the room and rub some Vaseline on my face because I'm like, okay, the police just gave us the green light that as long as we're not in the house, we can get busy. So basically the police officer, he kind of like, he's coming over there, he's talking to all of us, but you know, you can tell that we about to, as soon as he leaves, we finna get funky or whatever. So he was just like, he was like, so what is all of this about? Who's causing all the issues? So everybody pointed to Crash and Rampage because everybody in the house is beefing with y'all. And I know usually sometimes with group homes, it used to be like a manner of girls like just ganging up on people, or all of us trying to hop on people and just be mean to them, just like, you know, click up and stuff like that. This wasn't even that type of situation. Everybody was beefing with Crash and Rampage because Rampage had did something to everybody individually, and then Crash was inserting herself into that. So Crash, you were collateral damage, but you put yourself in there because honestly, be Switzerland. The best advice I can give you if you're going to a new group home, whatever the case may be, you can be as friendly with the girls as you want to be. You want us to be your fake sister, whatever. Woo, woo, woo. You don't know what them girls in the group home was beefing about or had issues with before you got there, so you can't come in and try to pretend like you want to jump in and be Captain Save-A-Ho because you'll get yourself in trouble. Stay out of that. Be Switzerland. Literally, be Switzerland. So soon as the police leave, I'm like, everybody, let's all just get it off our chest now. Everybody, if you want to fight somebody, go ahead and go in the field. Like, everybody get it up. So I'm telling Rampage, I'm like, I want to get in the field with you. What's up? I'm not finna fight you. I'm on probation. You already got your brother necklace back. Woo, 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 woo. Now, this is what I didn't like about Rampage. So when she wants to threaten Tyler, or she wants to make other girls feel like they should be intimidated by her, oh, I'm on house arrest, I'm on probation, I'm part of a gang, she want to throw it up and pop it in your face and blah 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 blah. But then when you want to fight, I can't fight you because I'm on probation and you're gonna call my PO. Girl, you're not even on probation for no gang related charges. You're on probation for public indecency because you got caught with that boy out in public. Keep it a bean. Come get this work in this field. So I'm telling her, I'm like, Rampage, I'm not trying to hear that. You either gonna get in the field or get in the field. Because I wasn't even giving her the option at this point to not fight me. And y'all can say I was a bully. That's what the staff had said. I don't care. You don't have the option to no longer fight me because you should never touch my stuff. You stole all type of little clothes and shoes and hair products from me and I never said anything. You stole my dead brother's necklace and you thought that it was going to ever be squashed. It's never going to be squashed. Like, even to this day, as an adult, if I see Rampage, I would still do something to her because certain things are just unforgivable. I don't care how nobody feel about it. So I'm arguing with her. Why does Crash start? You're supposed to be one of the older girls in the house and you're not even that mature. I said, Crash, shut up. Not talking to you. You don't even know what me and her are talking about. Shut up, Crash. Like, and it just got to a point where this is why I used to get aggravated with Crash. Because it got to a point where I'm giving Crash too many passes. You keep jumping in what me and other people have going on. You already threw water on me. Every time I say something to Rampage, you got something to say. Crash, shut up. You got 2 girls, actually 3 girls down the hallway ready to tear your ass apart. And you sitting up here trying to duck them, but you want to worry about what me and Rampage are going on. Mind your business and go catch your own fade. Period, point blank. So I'm like, so Crash, you keep on talking. Do you want to catch it for her? Oh, this is what I'm talking about when I say you're immature, you're 17 and you're trying to fight me and woo, 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 woo. And like I told Crash that day, you knew exactly how old I was when you came over here getting into an issue that don't have nothing to do with you. You knew how big I was, you knew all that. 'Cause people have a habit of starting with you and then when you get on their ass, it's like, oh, well, you're bigger than me. Oh, you're older than me. Was I not the same age 50 minutes ago? You knew what it was, ho. Stay out of it. Be Switzerland. So she pretty much not owned that there. Her and Crash and Rampage trying to make it like they feel so unsafe, so they went and sat in the staff's office till like the end of the shift, and they went in there when all the other girls had to already go in their room. So eventually, I don't know, I think maybe like a couple days had passed and like stuff had been cool, whatever. Damn, I really want to call Furry and ask, I really want to call Furry and ask her why her and Crash like got into it so bad, but I don't remember why her and Crash was fighting. I think it was still over the grandma thing. So I think that Furry was probably still mad about the whole grandma thing, and I don't know, I feel like one night we were all just in the living room, like everybody just kind of like doing their own thing. So it's like Crash and Rampage, they were like in the kitchen eating their dinner because the staff had just gotten done cooking, and they would always eat after the other girls, and they literally never came out of their room unless it was for meds, they had to go somewhere, or it was time to eat dinner, and they would eat after everybody else. So they in there, they eating and stuff like that. So the whole time they over there talking or whatever, and they like basically like just trying to like start stuff. So like they over there having a conversation, and they'll be quiet, and then you hear like ha 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 ha, hoes mad, or like ha ha ha, she be wearing her clothes, like just trying to throw like indirect shots, because it's like nobody's even saying anything to y'all. We letting y'all eat y'all dinner, and this is what used to get me with the staff too. Nobody's saying nothing to them. Everybody's sitting over there letting them eat their dinner. Nobody's even bothering them. Everybody else in the living room minding their business. Why are y'all trying to provoke people into fighting y'all? So, basically, Furry had said it, and she said what we were all thinking. She was like, I know Rampage and they're not trying to be funny. Meanwhile, every time you get in the van, everybody gotta let the windows down. She didn't lie, because even the staff had to let the windows down. When Rampage would get in that car, I don't know what Rampage had going on like internally, but Rampage used to have a whole damn car smelling like a club. It hot, sweaty, and sticky, just nasty. Whole car used to be funky as hell. So when she said that, everybody bust out laughing. Like even the staff kind of had like turned around, because you know they can't really laugh. They gotta be impartial, I guess, mind their business. So when she said that, Crash just snaps. Crash gets up from the table, she just throws her chair back, and she walks into the kitchen, and she like starts snatching our kitchen drawers out. So she's like snatching the kitchen drawers out. She's basically like looking for something sharp, but in the process of doing this, you know how you have those kitchen drawers where you keep all the utensils in? She's literally pulling them out, and she's like throwing it. So mind y'all, our kitchen was like a little bit bigger. I feel like I might look the house up on Zillow and show y'all like a depiction of it, because I know sometimes y'all be asking like, can I explain it better? So she's ripping out like the drawers, and she's throwing them or whatever, so she gets a hold of a fork. So now she's standing in the kitchen with a fork, and she's like, I stab one of you all, I stab one of y'all. So Furry and Tyler's like, she's weird, like she's crazy, like they're laughing at her, like she's crazy, like girl, what are you talking about? Like you just started this, now you're trying to go grab weapons, like you're scary. Stop talking if you're not about that. And I can understand why they was clowning her, because like at this point y'all don't want to fight. Anytime somebody says something to y'all, they get in trouble. So why not laugh at you? Let me make you mad enough to actually do something. So they're laughing at her. They're like, oh, look at Psycho. Like they're basically just in there laughing at her. So eventually the staff comes out the office, and she takes the fork from her, and then she basically like she walks in the room and she stomps off. And so the staff starts picking up like all the forks and stuff like that, all of the sharp objects, and they took it away. When I tell y'all, I was so mad when Crash did this, because we was literally eating off spoons to the day I left. They didn't leave nothing else sharp in there. They wouldn't even leave kitchen tongs in there after she did that. They barely wanted to let us cook, because like I think she was starting to do stuff to the food. Like I think she poured something in our like milk. Yes, she ended up pouring like bleach in the milk after this. Like she was just doing a whole bunch of off the wall stuff. And I think she did that because all of us used to eat like cereal and stuff like that. But she knew that like me and Furry and Tyler were the main like cereal eaters in the morning. We used to wake up and literally get cereal. The staff would ask us what type of cereal we want just for that. And I think Furry was the first one that had tasted the cereal, and the milk had bleach in it. Like she really did a number on us that day. So I think after that, I think that the day Furry ended up drinking that milk and figuring out that it was bleach, later on that night, Crash had came out the room, and she was like trying to be funny or whatever, but at this time she wasn't close enough to the staff office to be being funny. So she was kind of more so like in like when you first walk in the house, like we had like this little big living room. It was like a little mini living room in the front, and then there was a dining room over here. So when Crash was talking all that mess, Crash was really more so closer to the dining room, and she had to walk past Furry to get to the staff's office. She literally would have had to run. If she would have ran fast and ran straight, she probably could have got past Furry, but Furry ended up catching her. So like she was talking mess to Furry and she tried to like walk in the staff office afterwards. All you see was just Furry ran up on her, bing bing bing, just went to drop her. Mind you, I'm surprised because Furry was small. I told y'all Furry was like real small, cute, petite. Furry was probably like 5'5". Crash is like my height. Crash like 5'8", 5'9", and she like stocky with it or whatever. Furry starts taking off on Crash, and it's like literally she just walks her in the staff office. She like, you ever see somebody just swinging and just knocking them back, but like Crash ain't falling, so she's just whooping her. All of a sudden Rampage like walks in the staff office. She wasn't running in like she wanted to jump in. She said that she was trying to break it up. Tyler had that came across her mouth, just boom. Tyler hit her one time and she didn't even want to break the fight up no more. She had went and stood on the edge of the office. Tyler was like, ain't no jumping. I'm sitting over here watching Furry just really demolish Crash, and I'm like, that's crazy, Crash, because people had been saying that Crash really couldn't fight and stuff like that, but Crash used to like do stuff like she'll hit you and run, or she'll like bleach your stuff, because this is what she used to do to the other girls at the house. But she never really get into conflict. She would always pull out a weapon and talk about what she gonna do to you first, because she'll be like, oh, I'm not gonna fight y'all because I'm a stud, y'all are women, I'm a real one, da da da. I don't know, whatever her logic was behind that, girl, we all bleed, you can get it too. So I'm literally sitting over here, and I'm not over exaggerating. I wish I would have like recorded it because I had the perfect view. Both of the staff doors was open. Tyler wasn't in the way. The staff is sitting over there like in shock. She calling the police or whatever, and I'm just sitting over here watching Furry work her. So Furry got her on top of the mini fridge, just fucking her up, and eventually like Furry ends up slamming her off the fridge. So now the fridge is on the floor, Crash is on the floor, and Furry is just on top of her, just doop 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 doop. So eventually Tyler was like, all right, get her up now, because like you done knocked over the staff fridge, and like, you know, you gonna get in trouble for that because that's like, you know, property of the house technically. But it didn't end up breaking. I think it wasn't closed all the way, but it didn't. They got funds for that type of stuff. Y'all can get another fridge, and there was a fridge in the kitchen. We ain't gonna touch y'all stuff. The fridge was collateral damage. The fridge was a paid actor at this point. So she is beating her up. So after they finally had got up off her, she's like, yeah. Where your friend at? So Crash and Rampage basically walk back into the room, and Crash is like just throwing stuff through the house. She's just basically tearing the house up because she mad that she got beat up. But you did disrespect that girl grandma. You had to know that it was coming eventually. So yeah, she got on the real bad for that one. So boom, the police end up coming and things like that, and they're like, oh, they had asked the staff like, do you want to press charges about the refrigerator? And she was like, no, we don't have to press charges about the refrigerator, like it's okay, things like that. So the police officer, he kind of, mind you, I told y'all that he had said he had worked with girls in group homes before, because I believe he was like a sergeant or he was like their supervisor or whatever. So he basically just came around and he just walked in all of our rooms and he told us like, all right, now that's it for the night, no more fighting, everybody stay in your room. If I have to come back tonight, you going to jail. But he wasn't saying it in a rude way, kind of like a, come on y'all, like y'all making me do my job, like chill the hell out type stuff. So I was like, okay, whatever. Everybody had let it go. So maybe for like a good day or two after that, baby, Crash and Rampage did not come out that room like at all. And it's like we never even thought to ask each other like, well, how do they use the bathroom? We would always just think, well, damn, how do y'all eat? Because they did not come out that room the whole weekend. So it's like y'all really just, y'all in there hiding for real. Maybe that's what it took, because I'm thinking like, all right, Furry done already did her big one. Rampage, you should be embarrassed at the fact that you just let Tyler pop you in your mouth and you ain't do nothing. I guess you ain't want a rendition the last time, but you know, everything was cool. So it had to be that Monday, or I'm not even sure what day it was. Let me stop back like I do remember. So it had to be one day where all of us was home, but basically we all had a staff meeting. Not a staff meeting, but a girls' house meeting. So at this point, they got all the girls there and they got all the staff standing around. So at this time, we probably had like, so we had 5 staff around the time. So it's like so me and the other girls, we're sitting on the couch. The 5 staff, they're like all lined up, kind of like near the kitchen that leads next to Crash and Rampage's room. So Crash and Rampage are kind of like standing at the door or whatever, but actually no, Rampage is sitting in the kitchen. Crash is sitting like kind of next to the door still. It's like while we're having the meeting, the house manager, she just starts off, she's telling us, she was like, what y'all are doing right now is unacceptable. All of this fighting, all of this ganging up, all of this bullying, like it would not fly in here. I'm tired of getting calls in the middle of the night. Y'all keep getting me out my bed, pop, pop, pop. You know, she just cussing us out. But like we told her, she always wanted to make it seem as if it's like a matter of where everybody's just bullying Crash and Rampage because we don't like Rampage. Just like, no, they're doing stuff to people, they're throwing rocks and they're hiding their hand, and they thought they're supposed to just run up on you or steal from you or play in your face, and then when it's time to fight, oh, but I don't want to fight though. You don't really have a choice at this point, because now I want to. So there's no, oh, I don't want to fight though. You should have thought about that before you touch me or my belongings or disrespected my grandmother. So during the house meeting, Crash just started flipping out. Fuck these hoes, da 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 da. Oh, I can't talk like that. She just F these B words, da 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 da. Y'all think y'all hard. Y'all didn't even do nothing to me. You had to catch me off guard. You had to catch me when I was walking away. So mind y'all, at this point, Furry, I told y'all she wasn't like no messy person. She just was like, I think she just did what she had to do that day because she was aggravated. So Furry's laughing at us. So Furry's like, okay, so if I caught you off guard, let's get a rematch. I'm not fighting you again. Woo, woo, woo. She just cussed her out. She's like, I'm not fighting none of y'all again or whatever. So I'm telling the staff, like the house manager, I'm like, you see how you saying that we need to stop bullying her and things like that? But you see how she's coming at people? Nobody even said nothing to her. None of the girls was talking. At this time, it was only the house manager talking. You're sitting over here, you're picking at people and you calling them out. But then as soon as the staff leave and somebody get on you, now you saying you being bullied. Which one is it? You can't be a bully and a victim. So I'm telling the staff, I was like, you know, like you see this, like, y'all want us to be mature with her, but look how she act towards us. Shut up! You always want to play like you just so mature. You ain't even no adult for real. You need to go home. You need to go with your family. You still here. You been here for a long time. Yeah, girl, you been here for a long time too. That's why it's like with the whole group home thing, you used to never really eat with the digs. It's like, oh, your family's not coming to get you. And how do you know that? Because you've been here longer than I have. Bitch, we both in the same boat, girl. Like, let's be for real right now. Because that used to really be like, oh, don't nobody want you. Nobody wants you either, Bookie, but you still believe in all the soft nothings. So I'm going to come get you. You going to come live with me. I'm just old enough to know that shit is a lie. That's the only difference between us two. So she's doing all that to me. So I turned back to the staff at this point. Because I'm like, y'all see how she doing all this? So meanwhile, I'm not even peeping. When she said that, oh, I'm not going to keep on fighting y'all, she had started making like a stabbing bunch. Like, I'm going to start stabbing these hoes. Woo, woo. She got a whole needle in her hand. She has like a dirty needle. So she has one of those needles that had like the orange tip on it. Like type stuff. But it was like, you could tell it was used. Like, I don't know if she found this outside where she found that. We had no diabetic girls in our house at this time. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, so y'all finna sit over here, because at this point I'm not talking to her because I can feel myself getting mad. Like, I don't like when I'm trying to be mature or trying to be copacetic because everybody else been running up knocking your block off. I'm sitting over here chilling. So I'm like, I'm talking to the staff at this point because this is where y'all need to do y'all job. She's sitting over here threatening the youth in front of y'all with the weapon and ain't nobody flinched yet. But if I got up and I decided that I was gonna take off, it'd be the end of the world, right? Right. So I turned to the house manager. So I said, you gonna sit over there and let her threaten me with that needle? Oh, Cottrell, you gotta grow up. You're older than her. You have to understand how to ignore certain things. Just ignore her, whatever. So the house manager decides that she's gonna resume the meeting and say that we need to ignore her and be mature. Meanwhile, this girl is standing behind me on the couch. Like, if I would have turned back to the house meeting, I would have had my back to Crash. So I'm like, you think I'm gonna sit over here and let somebody talk about what they're gonna do to me with a needle in their hand and I'm gonna turn my back to them? I said, get that needle from her before I get it from her. Oh, you ain't gonna take nothing from me. I told the staff, I said, I'm gonna say this one more time. Get that needle from her before I get it from her. So they had sent one of the, like, okay, I'm not trying to be mean when I say this. There is some soft staff. There's some staff that just get walked all over. Like, not trying to be mean. Like, they're just very much so not dominant. Don't really demand respect. Just, like, not trying to be rude, but that's just how they are. Like, very soft-spoken. She's a sweet lady, but she's just not nobody that I would feel like would be responsible for handling a tense situation like the one that we were in. All the staff that would have went over there and, like, really grabbed her and really put some like work in, nobody even flinched. They sent the softest staff ever to go grab it. When I tell y'all, Crash literally ran in the room, slammed the door at lady face, hit the needle, and came back out. So they was like, okay, well, we're gonna send that staff to go in there and look for the needle. So the lady go put on her glove, she go in there and she look for the needle, and she's like, oh, well, I can't find it. So I'm telling them, because at this point I'm like talking to y'all, not working, so I don't have to show y'all. So I'm like, go get that needle from them. Cottrell, we just told you we can't find it. I said, all right, that's okay, I'm gonna go find it. So I'm in the room and I had went in the room and I had put on my black forces. I used to love these glittery black forces. These was my fighting shoes. Because after the Timbs, it was the glittery black forces. Because I realized that forces got better grip than Timbs do, especially on tile. Because we was fighting in the house a lot. So I went and I put it on the little black forces and I tied my hair up. So I come back out the room and they like, oh, what you finna do? I said, I'm finna go get a needle. I walk in the room and it's like I tried to walk past Crash. Crash, she was gonna flinch. Bitch, I had to swung on Crash. and I'm still finna go in her room and go get it. So at this point, Crash had kind of swung back on me, but she ran. So Crash like ran past the staff and she ran into the kitchen. So the kitchen had like an island around it. It was like one of those L-shaped islands, but it's like if Crash would have stayed on the other side of the kitchen, she could have walked into the washroom and then walked out the garage, and she could have just left or whatever. If she would have came my way, she would have been like technically walking towards the front door. So when Crash had hit me or whatever, she ran in between the staff. The staff kind of like created a barrier on the side that she was at, so I couldn't get through on that side. So I had ran around the other side of the island, so I'm like next to the refrigerator. But at this point, I'm kind of like walking up on Crash. So one of the newer staff, she had grabbed me and she was like, Catrell, please no, please no. I was like, no, it's not no please no, because when I just told y'all to get the weapon out of her hand, sorry, I'm getting mad even telling the story again because I have a fear of being stabbed. I'm sorry. That's one of my worst fears. That's why I would never go to jail, because I just don't like the whole thought of it, the sound of it, all of it really like bothers me. So I'm telling them at this point, like, nah, it's not no calming down, because when I told y'all to grab it, y'all didn't want to grab it. Don't grab Crash. Like, don't grab me. Go grab Crash, like, when she got weapons and stuff on people. So the house manager, like, so the staff, she's like, please move, please move. And I'm like, miss, move, like, let me go. So she wouldn't move, so I had took, like, we had this big ass family size jar of like peanut butter. I wish I could find it. The peanut butter jar about the size of my head. So Crash sitting over there, mind you, while the staff has me, Crash sitting over there behind her, she's like, ha, 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 like she's like really just doing the little Cardi B on me. When I tell you I picked up that peanut butter, popped her, boop, right in the forehead, I threw it at her, right here. That peanut butter hit her, and I guess it snapped her back to reality. Yeah, ho, I'm serious, I really want to get down. So now she's starting to get mad, and she huffing and puffing and stuff, and like, so the house manager was like, you know what, move, let them fight, they want to be animals, let them fight. When I tell y'all, that was music to my ears. I tore Crash up for old and new, because I just felt like Crash just kept picking and picking and picking. You putting out weapons on people, you doing everything, like you doing too much. And then also you're doing it under the guise that you feel like, oh, because you're a stud and we're all girly girls, you get to bully us. That's not how that works. At the end of the day, we're all women. We all bleed the same. You're not going to walk up in here and bogart nobody. You're nobody's bodyguard, because you're doing all this for Rampage. Meanwhile, Rampage still sitting in the kitchen, sitting pretty. Not coming over here to help you, not even arguing with you. You over here trying to fight somebody else's battle. So at this point, me and Crash kind of fighting, but I didn't take into account, I'm a hair grabber. Not gonna lie to you. If you give me a chance to wrap that hair around my head, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not taking into account that Crash kind of like got her hair cut and she got like a little small mohawk. So me and her like fighting, and I just kind of like put her in a headlock. So we just in the kitchen, and I'm just dunking her. But she like trying to get from under me, and she trying to slam me. Mind you, me and her both some big girls, so we really just tussling in the kitchen. So when I seen that she was trying to slam me, I kind of like had turned and I like pushed her into the washroom. So once we're on the washroom, I kind of get up off her in a headlock, and I just put her head on top of the dryer, and I just start hitting her. Cause I'm like, girl, you ain't got no hair. If I let you go, if I would have let her go, I ain't gonna lie. If I would have let her go, she probably would have got me, because it's just like, I got more stuff for you to grab, because she'll grab your hair, but she doesn't have any. So I'm just getting her on top of this washroom or whatever, and the staff ends up, they pull us apart, and they pull me out, and Crash kind of goes out like the washroom door. She walks out the garage, she's basically in the front of the house, and she's snapping and stuff like that. So at this point, the staff done called the police, and this is why I used to wear like real long stiletto nails. I gotta go back in my memories to see if I can find anything that was from this day, because I knew I was probably on Instagram popping it. Because even before TikTok, I was getting on there talking cash money shit. So they're like, so basically, I go sit next to the front door, and I'm just sitting over there, and I had ice, and I'm icing my fingers or whatever, because they telling me that you can go to jail. And I'm like, that's fine. I got on long pants, I got on sneakers, I go grab a jacket. Like, go ahead and call them. Like, do what y'all gotta do. They send the police on the way. So they like, oh yeah, but move away from the front door, because she's saying she gonna run back in here, like whatever. And I told them straight up, if she run back in here, I'm not fighting her no more, because my nails messed up. I'm finna hit her with something, like dead ass serious, because it's past trying to talk to y'all and tell y'all to control her. She run back in this room, y'all gonna have to get her up off the floor. So I'm like, let her run back in the house. Because I think at this point, we had like a little stand next to the front door that's kind of like, I think that's what they used to kind of like hold stuff at, like little stuff when you walk in, you can put your keys and stuff down right there. I was going to work Crash with that little shelf if she would walk back in there, because I already fought you, my nails hurt, I don't want to fight no more. You finna get worked. So by the time they saying that she finna run back in the house, I guess the police officers had already pulled up. So the female police officer, she's like walking in the house, and she's like, hey, like what happened? We told you guys to stop fighting, woo woo woo. All of a sudden, all you start hearing is like a big commotion outside, because some of the staff had went out the garage door to like be with Crash, and like, you know, the girls was in the house talking to me, and like one of the staff was still over there. Crash, I guess when the police officer tried to walk up and talk to her and get her side of the story while the female officer came and got mine, Crash swung on him. Like I told y'all, this man was like the sergeant. Like, he had been doing this for a long time. He know what he doing. Basically, they said that, like, she swung on the police officer and he picks her up, dropped her, and she got handcuffed or whatever. She was sitting in the back of the police car now. And I'm just like, whoa. So I'm like, damn, she done saved me because you just swung on the officer. They don't care about what little petty fight we just had in here. Your ass is grass. So they ended up arresting Crash and taking her to jail for putting her hands on a police officer. And you know, once she did that, she was automatically kicked out of the group home. Like, there was nothing the group home could do for her. The house manager was over there pleading with her, like pleading with him, like, please don't take her to jail. She has behavioral issues, woo, woo, woo. But he was like, no, I'm not feeling that. Like, no, because I'm not going to keep on coming out here for this. Like, whatever. So now Rampage looking like a lost puppy. She ain't there by herself. So now I know I said that my hands was hurting too bad to fight, but it wasn't too hard for Rampage. So I'm like, what's up, Rampage? Like, now you by yourself. Like, ain't no running. Like, what's up? I'm not finna fight you. You keep wanting to fight me over something. Oh, like, grow up. Get over it. So then the house manager, because mind you, the house manager, and this is why Rampage used to get along, like, get away with a lot of stuff. The house manager had like a super just close bond with Rampage for whatever reason. So she comes standing between me and Rampage. She's like, stop, like, nothing is enough for you. You acting like a wild animal. Like, I'm gonna call the police back, and this time I'm gonna make them take you. If you touch her, I'm gonna make them take you. And I had to tell her, like, this is when me and her started beefing at, like, girl, I don't want to hear that from you. So basically, all in all, they ended up packing, they let Rampage pack a bag, and she ended up going to her grandma's house. Like, she was supposed to stay there for the weekend, but I think she was aging out around this time anyway, so she was going back to live with her grandma. So, like, little by little, I guess they just let her pack her stuff and just move it to her grandma's house, and she pretty much so just moved out of the group home like a couple days earlier. So why later on, I think that day, or like, it probably wasn't later on that day, it was the next morning. So the next morning, the house manager calls me in the house to talk or whatever. So she calls me in the office, and we're in the office talking, and she's like, what you did yesterday, like, this is like, she's like, this is ridiculous. Like, I don't understand what's wrong with you. Like, why did you act like that? And I'm telling her, like, bro, they stole my dead brother's necklace. Like, yeah, I got it back, but it was like, I had to go through so much to get it back. I had to argue with y'all, I had to fight y'all, I had to physically threaten y'all, I had to make everybody's life in that house a living hell to get my stuff back. Mind y'all did this like after a month or two after he had passed away. Oh my god, I'm not gonna cry. I don't know why I'm sad about this. It happened so long ago, but it's like, bro, I had did a lot of stuff in group homes that wasn't right and stuff like that, but I never played with nobody like dead siblings. Like, I just felt like that was fucked up. And it was like, damn, Rampage, I know you ain't like me, but I ain't never do nothing to you like that. So when the staff was like, oh, you're wrong for doing this or whatever, I'm like, bro, like, that was my only brother, bitch. Like, I didn't even get a chance to properly mourn him because of what y'all did. Like, look at what y'all did to me. Like, I couldn't even get a chance to really go through it because y'all are making me angry while I'm already trying to grieve him. So before I had to knew it, I had to walk up on the house manager, and I was truly finna swing on her, and I know it wasn't right and it was disrespectful, but how dare you sit in my face and tell me that I'm a bully when somebody was physically trying, like, somebody was really trying to hurt me on a deep level. Now I want to hurt them back, and I'm wrong. No, you could have been squished, you could have been nipped this in the bud, because if they would have stopped Rampage for coming in my room a long time ago, she would have never even had the opportunity to even think about stealing his necklace. They let her feel comfortable, they gave her an inch, she took the whole damn mile, and the mile landed with me, and that's where it ended at, because I don't play like that. So I had to walk up on the staff, and I'm like, you trying to tell me that I'm wrong for what somebody did to me? And this used to aggravate me with the house manager, because if it was anybody else, she was from New York, she knew what it was like. So if it was anybody else, if it was a stranger on the streets and they did the same thing to her, she would have clicked. But because it was me, it was a problem. And she was like, no, I'm not saying that it's okay that she did that, but you need to get out of my face. So from that day forward, I just kind of was done with her too, and I just lost respect for all of them. Not all of them, because there were certain staff they would try, but the house manager just wasn't hearing it, and she wasn't reporting it to her higher ups. Like, them people didn't even, actually no, they knew too. They knew. They probably didn't know how much she was stealing, but I made sure every time I seen them, or every time they asked me to do a survey, I said that my stuff is getting stolen, and I said it in court too, so it would never be no confusion. But yeah, no disrespect to the house manager though, because she did do a lot for me. We ended up, you know, sometimes when you live in a group home with people, you get into things like that. Like, she was kind of like, she was a good lady, her heart was just, sometimes it was in too much of a good place, and I just didn't like that. So yeah, me and her, me and the staff, we ended up apologizing to each other before I left. She actually just asked me for my number the other day. I think I'm gonna text her and give her my number and probably call and see how she's doing, because I would like to talk to the girls at the group home. But yeah, that was into that story time. I did get my brother's ring back. Hold on, let me show y'all 1 second. Where is it? Here it is. Because y'all always ask me, did I end up getting his ring back? Y'all ended up getting it back. I'll give y'all that story time a different day. That's not funny what I had to do. But that would be the end of this story time. Thank you guys so much for being patient and sticking by me. Because if I was y'all, I would unsubscribe because I was taking a little bit too long. But I love you guys, and I will see y'all with the next one. Bye. And we're now officially almost to 900 subscribers. By the time I post it, I might already be there. When we hit 1,000 subscribers, we gotta celebrate. I don't know how we gonna do it, but we're definitely gonna do it. I will see you guys next time. Mwah.